When I was in the shower this morning, I was thinking about something I don't know how to answer, and I don't know how to find the answer, and I don't know if there is an answer for it. Let me ask you guys, how many holes does a straw have? Because
Additional
I think
supply
it goes a
depots
lot deeper
required.
that's got one hole. It's got two holes. It's got zero holes. I think in order to find out how many holes a straw has, first, how do you define what a hole is? And I think that is the harder question. I think a hole is one of those things where you can't really define what it is, because I think a hole is the absence of something. A hole is created when something is taken out of something. You can put holes in things, but really you're just taking away from the original thing. I need to get some scissors and a bit of paper. I'm gonna get really, really into this in a minute, because I've got so much to say about it. When I start telling you about how I think about this, you're going to start thinking about it too, thinking why it's like crazy. Okay, I'm going to try and explain this as best I can, but my brain is all over the place all the time, so I'm not sure how well I'm going to be able to do this. I have some props with me to try and decipher this whole problem. Okay, so first things first is we have to talk about what a straw is. Everyone knows what a straw is, right? It's just a tube. So, I've got a tube here. This isn't a straw technically, but it is, because it's just a tube. You'd call that a straw, right? But when does it not become a straw? Would you say that's a straw? Probably, right? Would you say that's a straw? Or would you say that's a straw? It's the same thing, but it's just shorter. Would you say that's a straw if it's like that tiny? Is it still a straw, or does it become something else? Well, what if I took a bit of paper with no holes in it, and what if I did this? Now, that's a bit of paper with a hole in it, right? Would you call that a straw? It's the same thing, even though it's just really thin. And if that's a straw, would you say this has two holes in it? How many holes would you say a donut has in it? Because this is practically a donut. It's the same shape. It's the same principle. Would you say a donut is a straw? How many holes would you say a donut has? You'd say a donut has one hole in it. But this and a donut and this, they're all the same thing. Now, I would say that this bit of paper has a hole in it, right? But does a hole have to have an entrance and an exit? If you go outside and you dig a hole in the ground, there's only one way in, one way out. That's definitely not a straw. It's definitely not a donut. What makes a hole a hole? If you go outside and dig a hole, you can tell if it's a hole. But if you widen that hole until it becomes like a bowl shape, would that still be a hole? When does it stop becoming a hole? This is how my brain thinks. The question isn't quite how many holes does a straw have. I think the question is what is a hole? And I think a hole is one of those things that you can't actually describe, because I think a hole is the absence of something. This is a coincidence that I have this. This is a little pot that you get aquarium plants in. You'd say this has lots of holes in it. I've like played with it and ruined it a little bit. If I take this, if I cut it like this, would you say that has another hole in it? Would it have more holes or less holes now? It's a concept made up by man. Yeah, but holes have existed before man existed. If you think about animals that burrow in the grounds, they dig holes, and most of those holes only have one entrance and one exit. So let's say, for an example, that this quote unquote straw has two holes. If I go like this, if I cut a hole in the side of this tube, would you say that now has three holes in it? Probably, but that's because the hole's in the side of it. A hole wasn't cut in to each side of this tube. The tube was made just in this shape. So you can put holes in things, and you can create things in a shape that just has a hole in the middle by design. See, I don't think there's actually an answer to this question. This bit of paper that objectively has a hole in it. What if I did this? Would you say that this piece of paper has a hole in it still? Or would you say it's more like a frame? When does a hole stop being a hole? Straw has one hole in it, which also theoretically is a tunnel. So would you say a donut is a tunnel? Would you say this is a tunnel? This is technically the same shape as a straw. Would you say this is a straw? Would you say this has two holes in it, or one hole in it, or zero holes in it? The point is, we're trying to figure out what a hole is, because I think it's also got a lot to do with the function of the thing, because technically this is just a bit of paper that's been cut to look like this. But if you take a photo frame that's this exact shape, you wouldn't say it's a bit of wood with a hole in it, you'd say it's a frame. This, a photo frame, and a straw, and a donut, it's all the same thing. But you could say that one thing has more holes than the other thing. You could argue that a donut has one hole, a straw has two holes, and a photo frame has zero holes. Where does it end? I think you could take this like really, really deep. It's all related. Reality isn't real, but if I take this and then do that, is it still a bit of paper with a hole cut in it? Probably not. This is the kind of stuff that keeps me up at night. You know what they say, any hole's a goal, right? But the holes actually exist? We may never know.